Can I come home with you? 6 words that would change everything. 6 words whispered by a stranger on a cold December afternoon that would force Sebastian Wilson to make an impossible choice. Walk away, or risk everything he'd built for his daughter. This is a story about a desperate woman with nowhere left to run, a single father still haunted by loss, and a decision that would bring danger crashing through their front door. Because the thing about saving someone is, you never really know what you're saving them from, or what might come looking for them. Before we continue, let us know in the comments section where in the world you're tuning in from. We love seeing how far our stories reach. And if this story speaks to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sebastian stood there, keys dangling from his hand, staring at this woman who just asked the most absurd question he'd heard in years. The parking lot of Miller's pharmacy was nearly empty. Just his truck and a sedan with a bad muffler idling near the exit. "I'm sorry," Jasmine said quickly, looking down at her worn sneakers. I shouldn't have asked. I'm sorry." She started to stand, pulling her thin coat tighter. And that's when Sebastian noticed the bruise on her wrist. Faded, yellowish green. Old, but not that old. "Wait." The word came out before he could stop it. Jasmine froze, half standing, her eyes wide with something between hope and fear. Sebastian's mind raced. This was crazy. He had Chloe to think about, an 8-year-old daughter who'd already lost her mother and didn't need her father bringing home strangers. But Emily's voice echoed in his head, something she'd said years ago. The world's full of people walking past each other's pain. Seb, don't be one of them. "What's your name?" he asked. "Jasmine. Jasmine Miller." "I'm Sebastian." He shifted his weight, the medication bag crinkling in his hand. "Look, I don't usually do this, but there's a diner 2 blocks down, Joe's. How about I buy you some coffee, something to eat, and we can talk?" Jasmine's eyes welled up. She nodded quickly, like she was afraid he'd change his mind if she hesitated. 20 minutes later, they sat across from each other in a booth with cracked red vinyl seats. Jasmine had ordered soup and couldn't stop thanking him. Sebastian watched her eat like she hadn't seen food in days, and maybe she hadn't. "How long have you been?" He didn't know how to finish the sentence. "On the streets?" Jasmine said quietly. 3 days. I left. I had to leave where I was staying." Sebastian didn't push. He could see the weight of whatever she wasn't saying pressing down on her shoulders. "Do you have family? Friends?" She shook her head. "Not anymore. Not ones I can go to." The bell above the diner door chimed, and Jasmine flinched, her spoon clattering against the bowl. She looked at the door with pure terror before realizing it was just an elderly couple. Her hands were shaking. Sebastian made a decision that would either be the stupidest or the most decent thing he'd done in 2 years. "I have a guest room," he said slowly. "It's not much, just a pull-out couch, but it's warm. You can stay there tonight. Just tonight," he added quickly. "Tomorrow we'll figure something else out. There are shelters, resources. Thank you." Jasmine's voice cracked. "Thank you so much. I promise I won't be any trouble. I'll leave first thing in the morning, I swear." Sebastian nodded, ignoring the voice in his head, screaming that this was a terrible idea. The drive to his house was quiet. Jasmine sat pressed against the passenger door like she was trying to take up as little space as possible. Sebastian's mind kept circling back to Chloe. How would he explain this? His daughter was smart, sensitive. She'd ask questions. His house sat at the end of Maple Street, a small 2-story with blue shutters that Emily had painted the summer before she got sick. Sebastian pulled into the driveway. and his stomach tightened when he saw Mrs. Gloria's car still there. The babysitter was probably wondering where he'd been. "Listen," he said, turning off the engine. "I have a daughter, Chloe. She's 8. She's been through a lot, lost her mom 2 years ago, so—" "I understand," Jasmine said quickly. "I'll stay out of the way. I promise." Inside, Mrs. Gloria was reading on the couch while Chloe colored at the coffee table. His daughter looked up, her dark curls bouncing, and her eyes went straight to Jasmine. "Daddy, you're late. Who's that?" Sebastian paid Mrs. Gloria, offering an explanation about helping a friend that the older woman clearly didn't buy, but was too polite to question. After she left, he crouched down to Chloe's level. "This is Jasmine. She's going to stay with us tonight. She needs some help, okay?" Chloe studied Jasmine with the brutal honesty of childhood. "Are you sad?" Jasmine's breath caught. "A little bit, yeah." "My mom died," Chloe said matter-of-factly. "That made me really sad. Do you want to color with me? Coloring helps." Something in Jasmine's expression crumbled. "I'd like that." Sebastian made dinner. Nothing fancy, just spaghetti and garlic bread. While Chloe chattered away to Jasmine about school, her friends, her teacher Mr. Rodriguez, who let them have a class pet hamster. Jasmine listened like every word was precious, smiling at Chloe's stories, and Sebastian found himself watching them from the kitchen. Over dinner, Chloe asked 1,000 questions. Where was Jasmine from? Did she have pets? What was her favorite color? Jasmine answered patiently, but Sebastian noticed what she didn't say. Nothing about family, nothing about her past, nothing about why she'd been sitting on that park bench asking strangers to take her home. After Chloe went to bed, Sebastian set up the guest room while Jasmine hovered in the doorway. "I really can't thank you enough," she said softly. "You don't know what this means." "It's just one night," Sebastian reminded her, more for himself than her. "Right, one night." But the way she said it sounded like she didn't believe tomorrow would bring any better options. Sebastian headed upstairs, but sleep wouldn't come. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering what the hell he'd just done. Emily would have called him a soft-hearted fool. She also would have done the exact same thing. Downstairs, he heard movement. Soft footsteps. He got up quietly and peered over the railing. Jasmine stood by the front window, pulling back the curtain just slightly, staring out into the dark street. Watching, waiting for something, or someone. Sebastian's chest tightened. Whatever Jasmine was running from, it wasn't just poverty or bad luck. It was something that had her checking the windows at midnight, jumping at every sound. He went back to bed, but the question burned in his mind. What had he just brought into his home? 3 days passed, and Jasmine was still there. Sebastian told himself it was because she needed a little more time. The shelters were full, he'd called. The social services office wouldn't have an appointment available until next week. Practical reasons, logical reasons. The truth was simpler and more complicated. Chloe had gotten attached. His daughter lit up around Jasmine in a way she hadn't since Emily died. She'd drag Jasmine to her room to show her drawings, insist she help with homework, beg her to read bedtime stories in funny voices. And Jasmine played along with a gentleness that made Sebastian's chest ache. But he noticed other things too. The way Jasmine tensed whenever a car door slammed outside. How she'd positioned herself at dinner so she could see both the front door and the back. The fact that she barely slept. He'd come downstairs for water at 2 a.m. and found her wide awake, sitting in the dark. On the 4th morning, Sebastian found her in the kitchen making pancakes. Chloe sat at the table, swinging her legs and chattering about a field trip coming up. "You don't have to do this," Sebastian said, grabbing the coffee pot. I want to help. You've done so much for me. Jasmine flipped a pancake expertly. Besides, Chloe requested chocolate chip pancakes specifically, and I can't disappoint my sous chef. Chloe giggled. That means assistant. It felt dangerously normal, domestic, like this could be his life. After he dropped Chloe at school, Sebastian came back to find Jasmine washing dishes. She'd cleaned the whole kitchen. Jasmine. He leaned against the counter. We need to talk. Her hands stilled in the soapy water. I know. I'm sorry. I'll pack my things. That's not what I meant. Sebastian ran a hand through his hair. I need to understand what's going on. You can't sleep. You jump every time the doorbell rings. Yesterday, the mailman knocked and you practically dove behind the couch. Jasmine's face went pale. She pulled her hands from the water, gripping the edge of the sink. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable in your own home. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm worried. Sebastian kept his voice gentle. You don't have to tell me everything, but I need to know. Are you in danger? The question hung between them. Jasmine's jaw worked like she was fighting whether to answer. My ex, she finally whispered. Jack, he doesn't like letting go of things he considers his. Sebastian's stomach dropped. Has he hurt you? Jasmine's hand moved unconsciously to her ribs. It doesn't matter now. I left. I'm not going back. Does he know where you are? No, I don't think so. I was careful. But her voice wavered with uncertainty. Sebastian wanted to ask more, but Jasmine's phone buzzed on the counter. She looked at the screen, and her entire body went rigid. The color drained from her face. What is it? She showed him the phone with a trembling hand. A text from an unknown number. I know you're still in town. You can't hide forever. Jesus. Sebastian's protective instincts kicked in. We need to call the police. No. Jasmine grabbed his arm. Please, you don't understand. Jack has friends on the force. He'll talk his way out of it, and then he'll be even angrier. I just need to disappear again. I'll leave. I'll go somewhere else. Stop. Sebastian caught her shoulders, forcing her to look at him. You're not going anywhere alone, not like this. You don't know him. You don't know what he's capable of? The doorbell rang. They both froze. Jasmine's eyes went wide with animal terror. The bell rang again, followed by aggressive knocking. Jasmine, I know you're in there. The voice was male, angry, slurred slightly. Sebastian's blood ran cold. Get upstairs, he said quietly. Lock yourself in the bathroom. Sebastian, please. Now. Jasmine ran. Sebastian waited until he heard the bathroom door close before walking to the front door. Through the window, he saw a man in his late 30s, unshaven, eyes bloodshot. Jack. Sebastian opened the door but kept his body blocking the entrance. Can I help you? Where is she? Jack tried to peer past him. I know she's here. Her phone pinged this address. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play games with me. Jack's voice turned threatening. That's my girlfriend. She has some emotional problems. Gets confused. I'm just trying to bring her home where she belongs. If someone's staying here, it's their choice, and they're not going anywhere with you. Jack's expression shifted, turning ugly. Listen, buddy. I don't know what lies she's told you, but Jasmine belongs to me. We have a relationship, a history. You're just some random guy playing hero. From where I'm standing, she's terrified of you. That tells me everything I need to know. Jack stepped closer, aggressive. You think you're protecting her? You have no idea what you're getting into. Jasmine's broken, damaged. She needs someone who understands her, who can handle her when she gets out of line. Get off my property." Sebastian's voice went cold. "Now." "Or what?" Jack laughed bitterly. "You gonna call the cops? Good luck with that. I'll tell them she stole from me, broke into my place, whatever I need to say. They'll believe me over some homeless junkie. She's not homeless, and she's not going anywhere with you." "This isn't over." Jack jabbed a finger at Sebastian's chest. "You tell Jasmine I'll be waiting. She can play house with you for a while, but she'll come back. They always do. And when she does, there'll be consequences for making me look." Jack stormed back to his truck, a battered Ford with a dented bumper. He sat there for a long moment, staring at the house before finally driving away. Sebastian locked the door with shaking hands and called upstairs. "He's gone." Jasmine appeared at the top of the stairs, mascara streaked down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should never have come here. I've put you and Chloe in danger." "Stop apologizing." Sebastian climbed the stairs to meet her. "This isn't your fault. You don't understand. Jack doesn't make empty threats. He'll come back. He always comes back. Then we'll be ready. Sebastian, you have a daughter. You can't risk. What I can't do is let you face this alone." He met her eyes. "You're not going back out there. Not to him. Not to anywhere that isn't safe." Jasmine's face crumpled. She sank down on the top step, and Sebastian sat beside her. For a long moment, they just sat there in silence. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. "You don't even know me." Sebastian thought about Emily, about the person she'd been, the way she'd always seen people others overlooked, about the hole she'd left in his life that he'd been trying to fill with routine and emotional distance. "Maybe I need to remember what it's like to help someone," he said quietly. "I've been shut down for 2 years, going through the motions, making sure Chloe's okay, but not really. Living. Maybe you showing up was supposed to happen." Jasmine looked at him, really looked at him, and something passed between them. An understanding. A connection. "I'm afraid," she admitted. "I'm afraid of what Jack might do. I'm afraid of getting you hurt. I'm afraid of starting to feel safe and having it all ripped away again." "I know." And he did. He knew that fear intimately. "But we'll figure it out. Together." That afternoon, Sebastian called in sick to work. He installed new locks on the doors, checked all the windows, and wrote down Jack's license plate number to give to the police despite Jasmine's protests. He also called his brother Marcus, a lawyer in the next town over, and asked about restraining orders. When Chloe came home from school, she immediately sensed something was wrong. "Why does Jasmine look sad again?" she asked Sebastian while Jasmine was in the bathroom. "She's going through some hard things, sweetheart." Chloe thought about this seriously. Is someone being mean to her? Sebastian hesitated. Yeah, someone is. Then we should help her. That's what Mom would say. The simple wisdom nearly broke him. You're right. That's exactly what Mom would say. That night, after Chloe was asleep, Sebastian and Jasmine sat in the living room. The TV played quietly, neither of them really watching. I haven't felt safe in 3 years, Jasmine said suddenly. Not since Jack and I got together. At first, he was charming, attentive. Then it shifted. The controls started small, checking my phone, asking where I was going. Then it got worse, isolating me from friends, telling me I was worthless, that no one else would want me. Sebastian listened, his jaw tight. The physical stuff started about a year in. He'd apologize after. Buy me flowers. Promise it would never happen again. She laughed bitterly. It always happened again. I tried to leave twice before. Both times he found me, convinced me to come back. What made this time different? Jasmine was quiet for a long moment. He put me in the hospital, cracked 2 ribs, and when I was lying there, I realized, next time, he might kill me. So when I got out, I just ran. Took what I could carry and ran. "I'm sorry," Sebastian said, and meant it. "Don't be sorry. Be careful. Jack doesn't give up. He'll see you as a threat now, someone taking what's his. He'll escalate. Let him try." Jasmine looked at him with something like wonder. "Why aren't you scared?" "Who says I'm not?" Sebastian smiled grimly. "But I've already lost the most important person in my life. I'm not going to lose someone else by being too afraid to fight." The words hung in the air between them, carrying more weight than he'd intended. Jasmine reached over and took his hand. "Thank you, Sebastian, for seeing me, for believing me." Her hand was warm in his, and Sebastian realized with a start that this was the first time he'd felt anything close to connection since Emily died. It terrified him and pulled him in all at once. They sat there in the dim light, hands clasped, both of them knowing that everything had just changed. Outside, a car drove slowly past the house. Neither of them saw it. Neither of them saw Jack behind the wheel, his face twisted with rage, already planning his next move. The next 2 weeks changed everything. Jasmine got a job at the cafe downtown, just part-time, but it was hers. Sebastian watched her leave for her first shift, with her head held a little higher, her steps a little steadier. She was rebuilding herself piece by piece. Jack hadn't returned, but his presence lingered like a storm cloud. Jasmine still checked the windows, still flinched at unexpected sounds. But slowly, gradually, she began to breathe a little easier. And somewhere along the way, Sebastian fell for her. It wasn't dramatic or sudden. It was in the small moments, the way she laughed at Chloe's terrible jokes, how she'd leave coffee brewing for him in the mornings, the quiet conversations after Chloe went to bed where they'd share pieces of themselves they'd kept hidden from the world. One evening, after Chloe was asleep, they sat on the back porch. The December air was bitter, but Jasmine had wanted to see the stars. "I need to tell you something," Sebastian said, his heart hammering. Jasmine turned to him, her expression cautious. "Okay. I know this started as just helping someone who needed it, but it's become more than that. For me, anyway." He took a breath. "I care about you, Jasmine, more than I probably should given the circumstances." Her eyes widened. "Sebastian, I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know. You've brought something back into this house, into my life, that I thought died with Emily. You've reminded me that it's okay to feel things again." Jasmine's eyes filled with tears. "I'm still broken. I'm still figuring out who I am without someone telling me what to think, what to feel. You're not broken. You're healing. There's a difference. I'm scared," she whispered. "I'm scared of dragging you into my mess. I'm scared Jack will come back and hurt you or Chloe. I'm scared that I don't know how to be loved without pain attached to it." Sebastian reached for her hand. "Then let me show you. No pressure, no expectations. Just let me be here while you figure it out." Jasmine looked at their joined hands, then back at his face. "I care about you too. So much it terrifies me. I didn't think I could feel this after everything Jack did. But you make me want to try. You make me want to believe in good things again." "Then believe," Sebastian said softly. "We'll figure out the rest as we go." She kissed him then, tentative and gentle, like she was afraid he might disappear. Sebastian held her close, feeling her heartbeat against his chest, and for the first time in 2 years, the grief that had been his constant companion loosened its grip. 3 months later, on a Sunday afternoon with snow falling gently outside, Sebastian took Jasmine back to the park where they'd first met. Chloe walked ahead of them, bundled in her purple winter coat, hunting for the perfect snowball making snow. "Why are we here?" Jasmine asked, though she was smiling. Sebastian stopped at the bench where she'd been sitting that December day. "Because this is where everything changed. Where I almost walked past you but didn't." "Best decision you ever made?" Jasmine teased. "Second best." Sebastian pulled a small box from his pocket and dropped to one knee. Jasmine's hand flew to her mouth. "Sebastian, Jasmine Miller, you walked into my life when I'd forgotten how to really live. You've shown me that broken things can heal, that walls can come down, that it's okay to take chances on people." His voice caught. "You've been patient with Chloe, with me, with yourself. And I don't want to spend another day without knowing you're exactly where you belong, with us. Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down Jasmine's face. Behind them, Chloe abandoned her snowball mission and ran over, bouncing excitedly. "Say yes, his daughter chanted. Jasmine laughed through her tears, looking between Sebastian and Chloe. "Yes. God, yes." Sebastian slipped the ring on her finger and stood, pulling her into his arms. Chloe wrapped herself around both their legs, and they stood there in the falling snow. 3 people who'd been broken in different ways, now healing together. "I love you," Jasmine whispered against Sebastian's shoulder. "I love you too." They pulled apart, both grinning like teenagers, and Sebastian wiped a tear from Jasmine's cheek. Chloe tugged at Jasmine's coat. "Does this mean you're going to be my new mom?" Jasmine crouched down, her eyes still wet. "Would you like that?" "Yes. Can we tell everyone? Can we? Well, isn't this touching?" The voice came from behind them, cold and sharp as the winter air. Jasmine's entire body went rigid. The color drained from her face so fast, Sebastian thought she might faint. She turned slowly, and Sebastian followed her gaze. Jack stood 20 feet away, hands in his pockets, that same twisted smile on his face. But something was different this time. His eyes were darker, colder, and he wasn't alone. 2 men flanked him, both bigger, both watching Sebastian with predatory interest. "Jack." Jasmine's voice was barely a whisper. "Hey, baby. Miss me?" Jack took a step closer. "Nice little family moment you got here. Real heartwarming. But see, we have unfinished business, you and me." Sebastian moved immediately, positioning himself between Jack and his family. "Get Chloe out of here," he said quietly to Jasmine. "Sebastian, don't. Now." But Jack laughed, and it wasn't a pleasant sound. "Nobody's going anywhere. Not until Jasmine and I have a conversation, a real one this time. No restraining orders, no cops, just us." "You need to leave," Sebastian said, his voice deadly calm despite his racing heart. "Right now." "Or what?" Jack spread his arms. "You gonna fight me? You and what army?" He gestured to his companions. "I brought friends this time. Learned my lesson about playing fair." Jasmine was shaking, her hand gripping Chloe tight. The little girl had gone quiet, sensing the danger, her eyes wide with fear. Jack's gaze landed on Chloe, and his smile widened. "That your daughter?" "She's cute. Be a real shame if something happened to her because her daddy couldn't mind his own business." Something snapped in Sebastian. "If you so much as... What? What are you gonna do?" Jack took another step forward. "You took something that belongs to me. And now," he cracked his knuckles slowly, deliberately, "I'm taking something from you." The 2 men with Jack started moving, circling around. The park was empty, no witnesses, no help coming. Just them and the falling snow and 3 months of rage in Jack's eyes. Sebastian's mind raced. He couldn't fight 3 men. He couldn't protect both Jasmine and Chloe. He couldn't. "Run," he told Jasmine, never taking his eyes off Jack. "Take Chloe and run, now." "I'm not leaving you." "Jasmine, run." Jack lunged forward just as Sebastian threw the first punch. And that's when everything went wrong. So what do you think happens next? Does Sebastian stand a chance against 3 men? Can Jasmine finally break free from Jack's grip? Or will this nightmare never end? If you're dying to know how this story ends, let us know in the comments. Type Part 2 down below, and if enough of you want it, we'll bring you the conclusion to Sebastian and Jasmine's story. And hey, if this story has kept you on the edge of your seat, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button for Soul Story, give this video a like, and share it with someone who loves powerful stories about love, courage, and second chances. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.